Hello, welcome back to Cracking the Cryptic, and a Fog of War puzzle today for me by Oddly Even. So that's two of my favourite things ticked off right there. Now I'm not so sure about split peas as a rule. I've only had one brush with them myself. I felt it was very clever, but I didn't really feel I got to grips with it, so I'm going to try a bit better today. And I do not like peas or pea soup. There you go, it's out there. Not a fan. I can eat them, I just don't enjoy them. There is a fabulous story about, this has been attributed to lots of people, but I think particularly Peter Mandelson, a Labour politician, although from the south of England, who, when touring a constituency in the north, had some fish and chips with the locals to show what a regular guy he was, and then was asked did he want anything with them, and he pointed to the mushy peas and said, "I'll have some of that guacamole," thus establishing himself as a Nancy Southerner straight away, who thought that mushy peas were guacamole. You'd probably have to be British to be following that one. Anyway, let's have a look at, and apologies Peter Mandelson if it's either apocryphal, which it probably is, or if it wasn't you. But it would be lovely to know you're watching the channel anyway. Now, let's have a look at we'll have a look at pea soup in a moment. Don't forget, on Patreon you can have a go at Caroline's Halloween Adventure. Brilliant set of puzzles on the Japanese sums line by the Paint by Numbers Institute, and they are fabulous, so do give them a go. There's also, of course, all of our apps on the links under the video. There are many quality puzzles in those apps, literally every one of them. Let's not beat about the bush, they're all good, and in terms of value, those are brilliant, just like Patreon. But there's also Sven's SUDOKU PAD, our merchandise. Check those links out. But do have a go at the first link under the video, which is to Pea Soup by Oddly Even. And I'm going to go through the rules now, and we'll learn what they are. So, normal Sudoku rules apply. In every row, every column, and every box, we're going to have to dispose the digits 1 to 9. The grid's partially covered in fog, and if we place correct digits, that'll clear the fog from surrounding cells. But we have to place correct full digits to do that. Now, on a split P line, that's the green lines with circles on each end, the sum of the digits on a line, strictly those digits between the two circles, is equal to a concatenation of the two values in the circles in some order. Now, don't be scared. What we're saying is, if we had a line, well, the example in the rule set is if there was let's say we had circles there and there that were a 1 and a 4 between them, and then the digits on the line, I'm imagining a straight line between those two circles in this case, of 3, 4, 7, those add up to 14, and 14 is one of the ways you can concatenate, i.e. put one after the other, those two digits and make a number. 41 is the alternative, but that couldn't be done in 3 cells, but it could be done in more. Digits may repeat on a line if that's allowed by other rules. Lines in this puzzle do not cross, branch, or share cells with other lines, but they may share circles. In fact, we can see evidence of circle sharing going on in box 1. Dots. Digits on a black dot are in a 1 to 2 ratio. That's the black dot. Okay, those are the rules. Give it a try. I'm going to start now. Let's get cracking. So, we've got a lot of information in box 1, but what does it amount to? These 6 cells add up to a number that is represented by those 2 digits. Oh, but there's another line, isn't there? Look, we're allowed, the rules were very specific. Lines don't cross, branch, or share cells with other lines. There's a line running into this cell from there, and there's a line running into that cell from here. So that has to be the same line. It's going to meet, it's not going to branch, it's not going to cross, and the same is happening down here. So let me get the pen tool out and draw that in green, I guess. So that line is going to run like this. That is going to be important because that is a line of 3 cells. Now, we're almost certainly going to have to deploy immediately the fact that these are reversible in concatenation terms. So what is the minimum total for 6 digits in a box, 21. That's the 6th triangular number, i.e. it's 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5 plus 6. The digits all have to be different because they're in the same box. The minimum they can add up to is 21. So this could be a 2 and a 1. However, 21 plus 2 plus 1, that is a total of 24 for those cells. And if you know the secret, which I will now share with you if you don't, you will know that every box in a Sudoku, like every row and column, has to add up to 45. And if we only add those cells up to 24, we have to put a 21 into this one cell. We can't do that. So 21 is not the total here, and that's going to fail. Well, 22 fails anyway as a number, because those would be the same. 23 plus the 3 and the 2 that would create would make 28. This would still be 17. 24, 25, and even 26 fail this test. 26 plus 6 and 2 is 34, and this would need to be 11. But 27 does not fail the test. If those added up to 27, you could put a 2 and 7 in there and a 9 here. Actually, look, this line could be 3 9s, making 27. You don't even have to reverse the digits. That is the maximum it can be if you don't reverse the digits. Obviously, 9 on each cell, while possible, is clearly the maximum. So 28 is an irrelevance because this line can't add up to 28 or 82. 29 is an irrelevance. So let's carry on up the number scale. We've got up to 29, and the only way we've made it possible is 27 on both lines, funnily enough, not a swap. But then we go up past 30, we can't have a 0 in a cell. 31 plus 3 and 1 is 35. That would have to be a 10. That fails. Now, 32 is the one I'm worried about, because that could present as 32 or 23. 32 plus 2 plus 3. Yeah, this is getting interesting. 32 plus 2 plus 3 is 37. This would be an 8. Now, I'll just show you why that fails. And it's for a totally new reason that we haven't investigated, but that I can see. If we were to put 32 there, i.e. a 3 and a 2, and therefore we have an 8 here by the secret minus this split P line and its P's, this works fine. That could be 6, 8, 9 or 8, 8 something else, 8, 8, 7. That works fine. It can't add up to 32. It can add up to 23. But this does not work fine because now you can't use 2, 3 or 8 on the black dot. And so all the possible pairs are ruled out. 1, 2, 2, 4, 3, 6 and 4, 8 due to this marvellous 8. So 32 has failed as a number for the 6-cell green line. 33 is impossible because it would be a repeat in the box. 34 doesn't work. Well, okay, 34 doesn't work because it would make this have to add up to either 34 or 43. So once we're above having a 2 in the number, this line is dead. This line cannot work. 34 is out, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39. 40 is out because we can't have a 0. It's worth checking 41 and 42 and 43. But they're not going to work because 41 plus 4 plus 1 is already past 45. And that gets worse at 42 and 43. That is so complicated. That is a big old case testing start. But I think that's how you're meant to do this. And the only thing we were left with was 27 as the total of both green lines. And then this one has to be 3 9s. And if I'm right, this will clear fog. There we go. We get another crazy line. Okay, we get 2 lines, both ending in this cell. So what do we do with them? It's worth thinking about this, but only briefly, because it's either a 3, it doesn't use 2 now. It's either a 3-6 pair or a 4-8 pair. And I mean, I don't think we can do anything else in box 1. We could pencil mark 9s in those cells at very little gain to ourselves. Let's look at these lines. Well, one of them's got a 7 on. So either that group of yellow cells or this group of red ones adds up to a split P total with a 7 in. Well, it can't be 70 something, that's very obvious. 27 is too many. Oh, excuse me a second. Right, sorry about that. So these can't possibly add up to, well, they can't add up to 70 anything, and they can't add up to anything higher than 17, either red or yellow. So that must be a 1. That's got to be right. Let's use the black dots. A black dot sequence is always either 1, 2, 4, which it's not in this case, or 2, 4, 8. So we're advancing the fog a bit. 4 gives us a 2 and 8. And now we've got a new, I can draw this line. It must go like that. Can't draw any of the others that aren't fully shown already. Now, so one of these, yellow or red, adds up to 17. The other one adds up to either 12 or annoyingly 21. Annoyingly, because there is one way of doing that with 876. 12, there's a number of ways of doing it. I don't think I can make any more progress on that. So, that's annoying, because I'm going to have to look at another line. Mind you, this one's, no, it's not interesting. Let's look at this. Now, that obviously can't represent 80 something. Can that be a 1 and these two add up to 18? No. So I don't think this can be an 8 at all. Because these two digits are the concatenation of the number that is the sum of those two. And we can't get to 18, so we can't use anything with an 8 in it. So that's a 2. This is 8. More fog clearance. A new black dot. Interesting. Now, this can't be 20 something because that's only 2 digits and they're different. So this is a 1. This is 12. These two add up to 12 and they can't be 9, 3 because of that 9. They can't be 4, 8 because of that pair looking at that cell. So they are 5, 7 in some order. That's an X-wing on 7s. That uses up the 7s in rows 2 and 3. And there's a 7 somewhere at the top of box 3. Now, this digit by Sudoku now, we've got a 5, 7 pair in the box, and everything else it sees in the box and the column says that is 3 or 6. And this line adds up to either 12, 17, or 21. Well, it can't be 21 anymore because 7 has gone. So it's 12 or 17. And that 1 is the tens digit. Now, I'm thinking a bit about parity because 1, 9, 5 and 7 have gone. If this added up to 17, it would have to have the 3 on it and then 2 digits that added up to 14, which would be 6 and 8. And this would end up being a 2, 4 pair. That's very possible. If it added up to 12, since you couldn't put just one odd digit on, there would be no odd digits. It would be 2, 4, 6. And this would be a 3, 8 pair. That's really weird. I don't know how to pencil mark that, but this pair of cells is either 3, 8 or 2, 4. So it may depend more. That was making this 12 or 17. I don't know. This can also be 12 or 17, and it seems hard to figure anything out about what's going on there. Right, sorry, I'm a bit stuck. Okay, this black dot could be a 3, 6 pair, except it couldn't be, because then 3, 6 would have to appear in those cells and in those cells, and you can only get one of them in there. So this is not a 3, 6 pair, so it's either 2, 4 or 4, 8, and it definitely uses 4. Now one of these is a 4, and we just worked out that this is either a 2, 4 pair or a 3, 8 pair. So I'm literally going to rely on my memory there and say that's a 2, 4 pair. These are 3, 8, 6 and add up to 17, and that is a 7. The yellows added up to 17 there. Brilliant. This is now a 2, but I don't know what the reds add up to. I know it's either 12 or 21. That 2, though, gives me a 4 here, and that gives me a 2 here. It's a clever puzzle, this. I mean, I like it. 5, 7 still to place in this column. And this long line, but who knows where it ends. It's a long lane that has no turning, but it's a long line that gives you confusion in a split pea puzzle. That 5 or 7 is in one of those cells. It's not very interesting. Right, the black dot maybe. This digit is not a 7. It's 3, 4, 6 or 8, going with 3 or 6 here, or 2, 4 or 8. That doesn't feel very helpful. Am I going to have to come down to this? I feel I'm going to have to prove this is 21 rather than 12. If it was 12, these two are a minimum 3, 4, and that's a maximum 5. That's not very interesting. Okay, oh, we've got a new line that I can effectively complete. Here it is. Right. What's that one doing? Again, it can't add up to more than 17. That is the lesson of 2 cells that have to be different. So, since there are 2 digits, one of them is a 1, and it can't be there where there's already a 1 in the box. So that's a 1. Ooh, now we get a black dot that can't be 3, 6 because it would break that cell, and it doesn't have a 1 on it. So it does have a 4 on it. It's just like this one. It's either 2, 4 or 4, 8. Now this dot does not have a 4 on it and is a 3, 6 pair. And we've got a 3, 6 pair in the row. Oh look, I've got a 7 looking into the row at that. I wish I'd seen that before. Now the 3, 6 pair rules 3 and 6 out of this cell, which rules it out of this cell. Now this is the only place for 1 in the row. These other digits in the box are 3, 5 and 6, and that gives us a triple in the top row, which makes this 8. And the 8 that we get there makes this 4. And these are 9 and 7 in some order. We can't clear fog because we don't know the order. One of these is a 5 and the other is 2 or 8. Oh, not 2. We've had a 2 in the row. So 5 and 8 there, 2 and 4 there. That can't be 5, it's 3 or 6. Okay, that's probably all we can do. Now, just thinking about the tens digit on this line got us going. This is the units digit. Can't be a 9 because we can't make them add up to 19. So this is 3, 6 or 7, and these either add up to 17, 16 or 13. If it was 13, they couldn't have a 6 in. So they would then be 5, 8 or 9, 4. Now in many of those cases, this digit is a 9, but not in all of them. Right, let's come back here. These are from 3, 5, 6, 9. Is there another? Can I connect this line up? It may not even be 2 P's from the same line, annoyingly, so no is the answer. I could colour my 3s and 6s. I don't know what that would do. I don't think it would really do anything. Oh, I've got an 8 in this column, so that's a 2, 4 pair. Everything else in the column is from 3, 5, 6, 7. 1 and 8 are in these cells. That's, again, not very helpful. 9 is in one of those two. 9 is here. That is very helpful because it couldn't be there. That was probably the point. Now 9, aha, 9 is in one of these cells, and that rules out the 9, 4, the 9, 7 and the 9, 8 options, and we're only left with one way of doing this. 13 and made up of 5, 8. That's lovely. That's really, really elegant. Now we can take 3 out as a possibility. That is 6 or 7. There must be a 5 there, so that one can't be a 5. These are from 1, 6, 7, 8. This isn't. This line is complete now. This right-hand line. There it goes. Are we really? Oh, look, we can't. This can't add up to 50 or 80 anything, or 60 or 90 anything. So the tens digit is a 3. Let's just demonstrate that. The maximum for those, 9, 8, 7, in fact, no 8, 9, 7, 6 is 22. The maximum for these, let's say 9 and 8, is 39. So it can't go above 30 something. That's a 3. And it is either now 35 or 38. Now, that requires 9, 7, 6, 22. And what did I say? 9, 8 here for the maximum. That was 39. So there's 4 degrees of freedom if that was a 5, and only 1 if that was an 8. So for that to be 9, 8, the 4 degrees of freedom reduce that at a minimum to 9, 4. This can't be a 1. Does 9 have to be on this bit of the line? That's quite interesting now, because if it wasn't, they would be at a maximum 7, 6, 4, which adds up to 17. The maximum here is 17. That's 34 for the line total, which doesn't get us there. So 9 is on the line here. And now this digit can't be 9 as well, and our maximum is coming down dramatically. We've now got 7 and 6 here and 9 here. That is 22. 7 here is 29, and 8 here is 37. We can't get up to 38, so that's a 5. And we've got 2 degrees of freedom still left on that line, if what I did is right. So let's remove the pencil marks there. 9, 5, 8, 1, 3, 6. These are from 2, 4, 7. Now, those degrees of freedom were based on a maximum 7 and 8 here. So this can't drop down to a 2. It can't even drop down to a 4. This has to be a 7, because there were 2 degrees of freedom there. Let me just check that out. 9, 7, 6 is 22. Plus a 7 is 29. Plus an 8 is 37. Minus 35. 2 degrees of freedom. That's a 7. Right. Good. It was. That's not a 7 now. You either use up both degrees of freedom here with a 6, and then that's a 6, 7 pair. Or that's an 8, and these add up to 11 instead of 13. And they couldn't use 5, 8, or 9, so they would be 7, 4 in that order. So they're either 7, 4, in that order, or 7, 6. And this is either 8 or 6. There's definitely a 7 in one of those, and that's now not a 7. It's a 9. Good. There's a 9 somewhere here. There's a black dot here that can't have a 2 or a 4 on it. So that's got to be a 3, 6 pair. And that sorts out these cells. 7 and 4 there. That is the 11 option. So this has to be high now. That's an 8. And those aren't. It didn't clear fog because there was no fog to clear from there. That 4 makes this a 2. That's a naked 1. That's an 8 in the fog. This is a 1, 5, 9 triple. We've got a really long line left. And of course the red one to fiddle with. This is a 2, 3, 6 triple. That can't be a 7 now. Anything else going on? 8, 8. Ooh, 8's in one of those cells. It's quite interesting, but not actually specific. There's a 2, 4 pair in the row. Oh, 3 is looking at the black dot. Should have got that before. Now, there's a 3 somewhere there. This is not a 3. That is 6 or 7. I'm going to have to start. I can't think about this line until we find its P's, really. Oh, 3 there. I just never noticed when I got that. That's looking at all sorts of things. Right, 6. And that gets us 3 and 6 over this side. That takes 6 out of those cells and puts it here. Now, maybe it's time to return to the red, which is either 12 or 21. I've always fancied it to be 12, being 8, 7, 6. But to be 21, being 8, 7, 6. But it could be 12. Well, by Sudoku, that's 3, 5, or 7. Oh, this is loads of possibilities, and this one almost as many. Oh, 12, though, would have to be the minima now, because neither of these can be 1 or 2. So 12 is 3, 4, 5, and 21 is 6, 7, 8. Okay, 6, 7, 8 in use in those digits. Oh, look, 4 is looking at both places. You can't be 3, 4, 5. Good Lord. So this is a 6, 7, 8 triple, and apparently 7 can't be there or there by Sudoku. So that's a 7. This is a 6, 8 pair. Right, now in this box, 1 and 3 are there and there by Sudoku because of these. This is a 2, 4, 5 triple. I may not be able to place them, but that places 5 in the central box. That makes this a 5 pair resolved. That sorts out 6 and 8 in the red cells. That sorts out one of the. That's resolved as a 6. This is a 3. Actually, I can do 6 and 2. Having reddened the cells isn't helping me spot the digits in them. This has become a 6, and that'll clear fog. These are not 6s. Now, this is going well. We're closing in a bit. This is 4 or 5 by Sudoku, and that's a pair. Brilliant. So that gives us a 3 at the top, 7 and 8 at the bottom, which I can place. No more fog now, and we're home. Oh, we've got this crazy long line. Are we going to be able to finish the puzzle without actually adding that up? I very, very much doubt it. That's not how these brilliant constructors do this sort of stuff. But that's a 6 by Sudoku, and neither of those are a 6. Got that 2, 4 pair, 8, 6, 7, 3. This is 1, 5 or 9. Is this going to be a 90-something line or a 50-something? Okay, let's look at this line, because we've got these ends here. Well, I'll look at it in a moment. Let's just put in the candidates everywhere. I'm not proud. I'm going to put in the candidates. That's 2, 3 or 4, and this one is 2, 3, 5 or 9. Right, everything is candidated up. And I'm going to have to add up the line now. So 7 plus a 4, 6 is 17, 20, 24, 26, 34, 37, 39, 45, 48, 49, 55, 61, 69. The tens digit is going to have to be a 9. So let's colour those. We've added up to 69 so far. And we're going to have to add on these purple cells to our 69, and we're going to need to get to 90 something, so I'm putting in a 9 there and hoping. Right, now we add that 9 in, we make it orange and we're up to 78. We take 9 out of those cells, we place a 9 here. I can't remember, I said 78 plus another 9 is 87. Ooh, we're already up to 87. Just these 3 purple cells to add. Getting interesting. 5's in one of those 2 in the row, so that's not 5. That is 5 in the bottom row. That's a 1. What are we up to? 87 already. And we can't go above 95. These cells can't add up to more than 8. But they must add up to more than 5, because that's at least 4 on its own. So this is a 5. Now we get a 5 there, we're up to 92. Plus these two have to have a value of 3. So I think that one has to be a 1 and this one has to be a 2. And hopefully that will all dovetail together and we will finish the puzzle. We get a 3 in the corner. That's 3 in the corner. That's 3 in the spot. Light finishing off the puzzle. There we go. Pea soup. Consumed and enjoyed. Thank you, Oddly Even. Excellent puzzle. And well done to you if you got that done lickety-split. Split pea soup, perhaps. Anyway, thank you for watching, and I will be back with more Sudoku tomorrow. Been a pleasure being with you. See you then. Bye for now.